Here we go.
So tell me about your journey here.
My journey here was a long journey. It's like coming from Egypt to Israel, whatever it may be, you know. But however, my journey has been a blessing. You know, I was born in Monrovia, Liberia, West Africa, and growing up, it was okay. You know, I had a class with babies, and yeah, we talked about it was a session, but this time I was in immigration. We talked and they asked me about Liberia, and I told them it's a very good place. It's a good land, you know. But when the war came, me and my family, we went to Ghana, and my mom, sisters, siblings, everybody. But I grew up. Half of my life was in Ghana. I was young when I went to Ghana, and it was all Liberian refugees, and we had the Ghanaians, which is in Accra, and they gets to come in the refugee camp because they was more curious about us being American. I mean, why? Because America funded us. 1822, we was funded by the ACS, the American Colonization Society. You know, but you know, our independence is you know 1847 as well. Our flag in America is the same. We just have one stripes and they have I think 52 or whatever. But anyways, yeah, I live in Ghana, and it was cool. You know, they speaks the tribe, the dialects out there. It's called Tree. I was learning a little bit. I speak a little French too as well because you pass through from Liberia, you go through Ivory Coast. From Ivory Coast, then you go to Ghana, and I went to other various African countries like Togo, Benin, you know, Burkina Faso, and those places, and in Nigeria as well. But after sometimes, you know, we had this refugee program where we was blessed, and you know, the American came out there and they help out me and my family, and we gets to make it in America. And we got here in 2001, and it was cool September 6th before the World Trade Center. And I kind of look at it like, God, this is crazy. You know, my day I arrived in America is the day America had a you know, turnaround. You know, because after the World Trade Center, immigration became really hard. You know, so we arrived in Oakland, and I lived in Oakland, and it was cool. You know, I felt at home. You know, and I noticed that everybody was pretty united. You know what I mean? Everybody was, you know, it was those days in 2001, and so everybody was working together, and we was trying to bring changes once again. That's what it was about. So I was more under pressure because of my root. My root connected with this root on the other side. So we like a puzzle, you know what I mean? So we was separated in order for us to find one another again. So because of that, I had that in my mind of challenge that I have to make them understand that, you know, we share one mother, even though we were separated, but we share one heavenly mother, you know what I mean? So I always was part of that. But the choices that we make, which will, you know, destroy your life forever, and it's where I follow. And when I follow that, you know, it was the wrong path, you know. And eventually, this is not my first time going to jail. You know, I have done this ever since I came to America and I was young. I used to go to jail and things like that. Now I was waking up. You know, going to jail is like waking up from this slumber. So I was going to jail, and I'm wondering, but what's the opportunity in here? You just sleep, wake up, eat, and be in control. And then, you know, I quit that 2009. When this is my second time from ICE. You know, the first time my country had Ebola, I think you guys remember. And because of that, they wouldn't, you know, allow us to go back to Liberia. So they gave me another opportunity. They said, well, we cannot deport you. So you can. When I got out 2009, I stayed out of trouble till 2015. And that's when I got back into trouble because I slipped. We call that slipping. You know, I slipped and I did some other thing that wasn't right. So But I took that responsibility and I man up to that because I feel like it's only right that you do when you're wrong, you know. So when I was wrong, because that's the only way I think human beings can know themselves. You can't, when you wrong a person, you got to acknowledge that you wrong a person. You can't just play it off like I didn't step on your toes, but you know you did step on my toes, you know. So by me, you know, by me, you know, just apologizing for what I did was to take the time and go to jail and rehabilitate myself and rethink my mental states and know that, you know, it's not cool to just keep hurting the person, you know, either way, you know, it's just not cool because if they're more good to you and they share with you, you should be able to share with them as well. And that's what I be about nowadays, you know, share my love with those who share with me, you know. And the other rest that doesn't share that love, I'm not against them, but I wish, you know, some days they can find a way that the right thing is the only way out. So, you know, I got in America, got in trouble. After that, I went to ICE. ICE arrested me. This other time when I got out from the penitentiary, they took me to Arizona. I was there for 1 year, 10 months, you know, and I started to just, you know, calm myself and realize that I have to live with the human race. Instead of avoiding them, instead of stepping on them, I have to work with them because the world was put for each and every one of us, you know. So now I'm more focused on, you know, just helping out and taking care of people and what have you, you know. And me coming to America with my family, you know, my family, they're very, very supportive. They helps me out a lot. They take care of me. They just want me to stay out of trouble and do the right thing. So as I lived in Oakland, following friends and things like that, you know, people might put that on their friends and be like, oh, you know, my friends was the one that led me into this, but at the end of the day, it was your choice. You weren't no kid no more. So, you know, I don't blame any of them. You know, at the end of the day, I just want to take the responsibility. I want to know I was the one who took that first steps and did what I have to do. Now that I'm out, it's time for me to show to them that I'm here to do the right thing, you know, and it's where I'm at. You know, it's the path that I'm on right now until then. So it was cool, you know, there's lots of memories. I had a mentor, you know, which was my sister's husband, and he's the one I met, and he's Liberian too, but he been here ever since he was a kid. And, you know, he did tells me some things about America, you know, stay away from, you know, from jail, stay away from the police, focus on what you have to do with your life. But, you know, as when you're young, you know, your mind is more about just doing things fast and getting there fast, you know. And I never thought that, you know, it's one day at a time, you know, take your time and everything that you works for will comes back to you, you know. So it's where I'm at right now, you know. But yeah, I'm from West Africa, you know, you passed Ivory Coast, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and then you get to Liberia. So now Liberia is right here, it's in the west, you know. So we got it's north right there, then we got the west right here, and so that's central. You kind of like took it off. You kind of like took it off, so I'm looking for it right now. That's central, that's west, that's north. And then you don't want to be part of it. Okay. Oh, there it is. There it is. I keep trying to find it. My bad. Yeah, but so we got Ghana and Liberia right there. Liberia is the last country actually. So the capital city is called Monrovia. And Monrovia was named after James Monroe, the 5th president of America. Yes, and it's a cool place. Like our playing field is called what's it called? What's the guy name? New York. We share the same JFK. There it is, JFK. You know, but I was young when I left the country. I just do my research mostly on you know, on Liberia. Yeah, but it's a cool place.